Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company podcast, main show number 35.
35,
I think it is.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
rolling hard.
Things are going on.
Rolling hard, yep.
I know we're just coming back off of a holiday, so stuff was going on.
Yeah, a little Easter weekend
How
action.
was it at your house, Levi?
It was good. We went out so we had spring break this week.
Okay.
This last week, and my wife and I spent the entire time painting our house.
Still painting.
We got it almost done. We're getting ready to list it for sale this week.
Exciting.
And we've been looking at houses the last couple weeks, and I just found out not even an hour ago that they accepted our offer on the new house.
Nice. Okay.
So
good news. Glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Very
so
exciting.
that's pretty sweet. And then so hopefully now our old house will just sell. But the great part is our new house is a block away from our old house.
I was going to say, it's not very far.
Right across the street and down a block. So I'm super excited. So hopefully we can close on it and get it in our hands. Right now they've just accepted the offer, so anything can change. So hopefully once we get it all.
Yeah, and for the
dialed
listeners, I'm sure some people are going, well, that's weird. Why did he buy a house? It was just buy this other house. That seems odd. But you had a reason
I was
for
getting
it,
a bigger
so.
house.
Yeah, you want a little more
So
space.
I needed a bigger house, mostly because I got little kids and they're getting bigger. And my wife and I bought a townhouse 10 years ago, right when the market crashed. So
Made sense at the time.
We bought it going, we'll live in it for 3 years. We'll sell it. We'll get something else. Well, that 3 years turned into 10 years because we were
Yeah.
underwater in it.
Yeah.
And like everybody else. And so
Yeah.
we stayed in it. We fixed it up. We put in, and so currently our neighborhood in Boise, so the southeast part of Boise, is the hottest neighborhood to be in and the fastest growing.
Yeah.
And so prices are skyrocketing
Yeah,
on
everywhere
the
you
houses. So it's not a great time to buy, but it's a great time to sell.
Yep.
look. Yeah, I was checking out my
And-
value online, and I get it. I understand the appeal.
Yeah. So, but we just looked and said, we need something bigger. So we started looking. We looked all over the valley. We weren't opposed to moving if we had to other neighborhoods. And I was telling Anthony, this house I saw it when we first started looking, but it was at the very top of our price range, but it was right across the street.
Right.
And I was like, man, it'd be nice to stay. That way my daughter, who has autism, can stay in school.
You don't get that big,
It's not a
crazy
big,
shift.
not a big crazy shift.
Yeah.
No.
She's not. She loves her class. She loves her school. She loves her friends. I'm Mormon, so our ward, the area that our church is in, that neighborhood still would stay very similar. We'd be moving into another ward,
Okay.
still in the same stake as it's referred to. So,
But it's not like a great big change up.
no,
where,
and we've still got
new faces
Well, we've
everywhere.
got friends, and my wife's mother-in-law is in that ward. So,
Okay.
so for my kids, we go to grandma's church. Basically, it's the same building. So
They'll be all right.
it just goes. We just go at a different time. So
Yeah.
it'll be nice for that. So less, shake up
Sure.
for moving
Yeah.
for my kids, which is awesome. And it's again an easy way to build equity because we're buying into an already growing neighborhood in a hot
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, if we want to sell next year, we should be able to make equity pretty quickly in this new house that we're getting a pretty good deal on. So I'm pretty excited about it. So that was our big thing, was doing all that.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy week, a
You're
crazy
busy.
weekend. And then Easter,
Yeah.
my family hunts Easter eggs. And when they do, it's kind of a money deal.
Oh, yeah.
So you put into the pot,
Mm-hmm.
so as a dad, I have to put in money to the pot for my
course.
kids to hunt. And then we give the eggs a certain monetary denomination.
Yeah. There you
And
go.
sorry, I had to try and word that.
Demonization.
words-
I was like,
Demonization.
where's he going with
But
That's
this?
not
so there was like
demonetization.
$1 eggs, 50-cent eggs, $5 eggs, and a couple $10.
Sweet.
And so that's how I was raised. It was awesome. It was like Easter was like, woo! I get toy money or I get gas money when I became a teenager. It was awesome, and you could hunt.
It's a big deal.
And my family was like, hunt till you're 18. As long as your folks are wanting to buy in. And even when we were in high school, it was like, well, I'm going to throw it down. At the time, it was like a $10 buy-in. I'd put in $10
Yeah.
in the hopes I could make my double my money on the Easter egg hunt. So this year, my kids, my 3-year-old got $42.50.
Not too
And
shabby.
my daughter, Hadley, who's 7, got $38.
Still not
And
shabby.
it was funny when Augie ran up to my wife. My wife was last. She was like, "Holy cow, you got $42.50," and Augie's like, "I got 50 cents. I got 50 cents. He was so excited about the 50 cents.
Yeah.
And Carly's like, yeah, you did get that 50 cents. It's so cool, bud.
Yeah.
Let me give you your 2 quarters and I'll keep the other 42 bucks. Like, it was funny, but it was just sweet. So they're excited, and they both decided they wanted to go to like Jump Time, which is like the big trampoline building.
Yeah, that place is rad.
That's what they want to use their money on instead of toys. So I thought that was pretty cool of them. So that was my Easter.
So they're already thinking about experiences versus things.
Exactly.
That's a good value to instill.
We were both really stoked about that because we've been decluttering the house, and I don't want to go buy more toys.
Understandable. It's why you're going for more space.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So what'd you guys do?
Well, in our case, I mean, we had Easter, and then we decided to combine it with like a spring birthday. So my aunt has her birthday, right around this time. So we figured, why not combine the two?
Yeah.
So we just had all the family who's local get together and do a little party. Had some delicious stuff, everything from my mom. She does this crazy good breakfast casserole thing, which is like an egg scrambled dish, but it's done like lasagna style. It's awesome. But anyway, there was that, and then there was coffee and cheesecake and chocolate covered strawberries and all that stuff. Like it was really getting a little
decadent.
fancy. Yeah.
Nice.
But the point was, it tasted good. It didn't matter what it looked like. You don't have to be like a master baker to make this thing look great. It just you just make it and it tastes good. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
but so I totally went against my diet, and Liz and I both, we just had
indulged.
So that's we're like,
it's holiday.
We can kind of fudge this a little bit.
It's a cheat day,
so to speak.
Yeah.
But so I enjoyed it, and like said before, I only gained a pound, so I felt
sweet.
pretty confident with it, and Liz didn't gain any, so she was feeling confident about that. But we'll do the diet thing. We're just going to be a little less insane about it.
Yeah. No, nice.
Yeah,
right
so
very cool.
Anthony, you seem a little tired today. You did something over the weekend,
a lot
right?
of it. Yeah, no, so I took Thursday and Friday off, and me and my girlfriend went down to Utah, went down to Salt Lake City, just as kind of like a getaway weekend.
It's awesome because it's so close.
Just to kind of it was like a 4-hour drive, and
I mean, now that you're engaged and all.
Yeah. Well, no, we had planned this trip. She's like, let's go do something. Because every once in a while we like to go somewhere, and if we can't, fly somewhere, then at least we'll drive somewhere. Yeah, of course we hit In-N-Out Burger. So we hit that. I actually went to In-N-Out Burger 4 times.
I can hear the commenters already. There's always that one guy. It's not better than other places. McDonald's is just fine. I don't know why you care. It's like that's not the point. It's just forbidden fruit. You can't have it here.
We don't get it up here in Idaho, and it's very rare we get a chance to get it. So Utah's the closest.
But that's the thing that wasn't even. It's not even. I mean, it's great. I love the food. It's like it's amazing, right? But it's the fact that I can get like 3 burgers, 2 large fries,
and you don't feel like garbage.
2 giant drinks, and a milkshake for $11. And I'm like, where else can you do that, guys?
Yeah.
And you can't even do that at Jack in the Box. You can't do that on the dollar menu. I mean,
again,
half the time.
Not feel gross.
Yeah. And so we went there, but we got a really cool hotel and just kind of hung out. And it was
go to IKEA.
We did not go to IKEA. We didn't have enough room in a car to go do things like
you
that.
Just have
but
your 500 days of summer experience.
But yeah, it was really nice. It was beautiful. I mean, like Salt Lake, that whole area. We went to Ogden area, and it was just really nice because it overlooks these mountains that are just covered in snow still, and it was like 65, 70 degrees there.
The Wasatch Front is ridiculous.
So it was really cool. So we got to do that. We went and saw while we were down there, we went and saw Ready Player One, which was an awesome movie. If you guys are nerds, then or if anybody else is a nerd like me, then you're going to like it. But we did that. Theaters are really cool.
Did you go to City Creek?
Salt Lake,
downtown Salt Lake.
I don't know what theater it was, but I know that it had the reclining chairs that were.
Yeah, I don't know what. There's a lot
awesome.
of theaters down there. Did you go in Ogden or Salt Lake?
It was in Ogden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice theater, and I enjoyed. They had a full menu of everything, which was really cool. But so I did that, and then we came back, and then over Easter. I mean, my family just kind of just same thing, food. We do adult Easter egg hunts, and we just run around. My mom usually puts money or scratch offs and those things. So I just got to eat a lot. I'm just still, I felt like I'm just really tired. I don't know how I describe it. Like driving jet lag. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's not that far of a drive. It's 4 hours, and I've done way more than that. But it was just a weird transition. I think our sleep schedule was off or something, but I'm just really out of it. I need all the caffeine I can get today. But anyway, so that's what's going on with me.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, besides that, we got some other stuff coming up this week that we're doing.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
got a lot of good stuff. We're doing a Wash Wednesday tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one too, because it's oddball cars. I like this stuff.
Yeah, so
I'm excited.
Me too, my favorite.
Anthony's just like, when can we have like a normal?
Well, no, it's like these guys go on the show with these oddball cars. I don't really know I don't know much about them, so I'm like, wash your
then
car.
That forces the owner
That's
to
the
be
beauty.
a little
Yeah.
more
Tell me,
animated and actually
educate me on this vehicle that you have.
I think you will. I think
with
it'll be good.
with 10 doors. What does it do? Yeah.
Well, and this cool little car is an Alfa Romeo, and
old school Alfa. Yeah.
He imported it straight from Europe, and he is similar to our friend Drake Beaudry at Lupo Motors, who does a lot of neat, fun exotics and stuff. He's got a company here in Boise called Modern Classics, and he has one of his quiver of cars is a Porsche 959.
I've seen his feed of stuff, and I instantly was,
he's got a lot of. So we were joking. I was joking that Drake is like the Anthony, and Max, who's coming over, is like the Dane. Where Drake's
we'll get along just fine.
Drake's got the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the fast, hot stuff and the neat stuff that everybody kind of knows, and then Max has kind of the funky, wild stuff that is very unique to you. Similar, if you think back to like our talk about cars when we were growing up and how we started,
like that old school 2-door Range Rover. That's rad.
He's got some different vehicles that are kind of fun, unique.
Lancias and stuff.
Lots of Lancias and the Alphas, and he's got a Healy and
all the
he's got a bunch of cool stuff.
Kind of offbeat enthusiast stuff.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to say the least tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
don't worry, he'll be able to tell you all about it, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then we're working on a new show that I'm going to be doing with Tim, our editor.
Cool.
And we're going to be going to those of you who follow hot rodding in the hot rodding world, things like that. We're going to go start kind of a vlog style series where we're going to visit Kenny's rod shop and check out some of the cars and the work and kind of let Kenny tell his story. So the goal with this whole
super cool.
The whole goal of this show is going to be kind of shop talk, kind of car talk, kind of I'm going to hang out with Kenny and let him tell his story, how he got started, what's going on, and we'll talk about the cars that they're working on. And we'll probably try and do a weekly vlog style of it. So hopefully you guys can watch it and enjoy it. We still don't have a name yet, so if any of you want to throw down on some names for this series, we'll probably find out an idea tomorrow some more. We're going to sit down and have kind of a planning meeting.
Levi's rod vlog. That sounds...
My wife had it.
I don't know.
Levi's rod, How many guys would want to watch that? Be honest. Show of hands.
Wow, the viewership is just... So we got very, very weirdly specific viewers here. I don't know.
But no, so we want to. So if you've got any suggestions, please put them below in the comments section. It'd be great to see. But we're going to find out. Tomorrow we'll sit down with Kenny and his team and just kind of talk to them, figure out what, how we want to go about it and what we want to do.
But I'm excited for you to kind of do that because it's a different approach to... Cause there's a lot of shows out there where they have, the build shows and all these different things, and those are fun and those are cool, and people, obviously enjoy those and get addicted to them. But this is kind of going to be a more raw kind of, you're there and you're shooting it, and it's vlog style, so it's very personal. It's very, your boots on the ground kind of thing. It's like, action reporting kind of stuff. But it'll be cool though to see it.
So
that
we'll
way.
go see. We're going to do that on
made up conflict.
We're not doing it on Tuesday. We're doing it Wednesday. So because today's Monday.
For people that are wondering, what does this have to do with microfiber towels?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. This is just a fun pet project that we're going to start working on.
Not going to be a whole lot of detailing. I mean, there might be some detailing talk, and there might be some
probably like body shop related stuff,
references and things like that. But this is kind of a weird.
Think of it more like this is a show. That you can watch that is sponsored by the rag company.
Yeah.
We're the advertiser that's, helping pay for
and
this
the beauty
show,
of it is
basically.
you can watch it, enjoy it, and you don't have to worry about us going, and after this, buy this towel.
Right,
It's not really, that's not the goal. The
So
idea
it's
is
a-
wait for
you
other
enjoy
videos
watching
to
it,
do
and
that.
then you go,
Yeah,
hey,
do that in our
I
other
like the
ones.
company who's
No, but this
putting
is,
this on. That's good enough for us. So that's really
Well, and it's an
what it comes down
experiment.
to. Yeah.
So
we don't know how it's going to do.
we don't. It's just something that kind of uniquely came to us, and
Well, Jeff, the owner, is actually the one that approached
Yeah.
us and asked us if we wanted to do this
Try
with
it.
Kenny and try it. And we're like, hey, this isn't going to be a lot of promotion for the rag, company. And he said, well, he doesn't care. He really wanted to just document this.
yeah.
And
Well, and it could
have
grow
be a
into
fun,
something bigger.
cool
Could
show.
Yeah.
be an opening door for us to get in with other builders and other.
Yeah, there's no
guys
reason
and
it
be able
has
to
to
see.
just be one thing. It could be
Yeah.
an evolution of
Well,
things.
and it's just like this never. The podcast,
all this
the
stuff
videos,
came out of
all
going,
this stuff
what if
just
we
came
just-
out of literally us saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of us ever thought that we'd be, doing this. So thanks to you guys who
And
listen.
you guys keep coming back, so all right.
You'll be
Yeah.
seeing
Great, thank
Levi
you.
on the History Channel here eventually on,
we do not take
on
this for
Levi's
granted at all.
rods. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, we don't know. It's just one of those things that it's just an experiment. And
Yeah.
you know what, guys? There's no rules.
No.
And there's no rules in how stuff gets done. And there's a saying that I really like that, there's the old saying, you got to get your piece of the pie. And that's how everybody's always, that's all you've ever heard ever since, ever since I was a little kid was you got to do what you can to get your piece of the pie. Well, what if, and Terry Crews, of all people, said this. I heard it on a podcast. He said, no, the world is a kitchen. You make your own pie.
Boom.
Like
That's definitely
so that's
what
just
we did.
us. We're making our own pie,
Yeah.
and we're finding out that it tastes good and people like it, I guess.
It's got a weird flavor, but people
It does have
yeah.
weird flavor.
It's got
It's kind
flavor.
of, kind of
We're niche.
absorbent.
We get
Yeah.
that.
It's very absorbent, made of 70-30 microfiber. But no, so it's just kind of like there isn't a rule. No one said we can't do this,
No.
and Kenny, is very open to the idea of wanting to do it and is letting us have this access and letting us do that. So we're going to play with it. Let's just go with it. See
Yeah.
what we can do.
It's another case of, breaking out of the mold because you see so many things and a lot of people are like waiting for the direction or waiting for the inspiration or waiting for this stuff. If you have like a kernel of an idea, why not just give it a shot, see what happens? And when you have, we're in Boise, Idaho, but actually, surprisingly, for some folks who aren't familiar with Boise, there's a lot of
hot
cool
rod
stuff going
builders
on
and
around
things
here.
and
So,
stuff.
and if you're not familiar with Kenny's shop, they actually put out some serious
Yeah,
stuff.
they do. Yeah,
really
so check them out. Kenny's Rod
world
Shop.
class. Yeah, it's way cool.
Yeah, they do a lot of really nice stuff. They put out a lot of beautiful roadsters and stuff the last few years. And again, just he's a top level builder.
Yeah.
And the goal is that hopefully this allows us to also reach out to other top level builders.
Sure.
And do the same thing. And maybe this becomes a new series that
new habit to
that we can
form,
do. Yeah, that we can do with other builders and have them in. And we'll have Kenny in on the podcast as well, just to kind of set the tone and get it started so people,
it's a good story.
just to get started and listen to him and see his journey, and hopefully that'll kick off the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be fun. And then we got our new brushes, though,
Yeah.
segueing back into something different.
So they saw him last week, right?
Yeah, they saw him.
Don't
sitting
go
here.
check out the live video though, because
No, I
Levi's
look
a
very
little
fat in it.
self-conscious.
I'll tell you that. I don't know why, but I've got a big old
That shirt
gut.
was not
We
doing
get like
me
a
any
massive
favors.
bump
Sorry,
in
buddy.
views on that video.
I mean, I look chunky to begin with, but
I look bigger
looked at
than
the
Dane.
video. I was like,
Let's just
oh,
say,
man.
like, it looked like I swallowed all the weight Dane lost. I put it all in my stomach. Put it that way.
Oh, that's a visual.
It looked like I was carrying a basketball around in my gut. It was like,
but
what the
it
world?
was an
The lighting, I don't
informative
know what it
video
was. It was
on
just
brushes.
not- Anyway,
So you
about
got
the
to,
brushes.
so you got to learn a couple things.
Yeah.
So we have our this right here, the blue one is obviously our synthetic brush. This is gonna be our soft brush for piano black plastics interiors. It's gonna be exterior paint. It's gonna be your nice stuff where you're really you really want to take the most delicate care of. And then we have our boar's hair brush. And so the boar's hair brush, for the people who've been asking questions that I've been fielding on Instagram and whatnot, I've just been telling them that it is still a boar's hair brush. It's still going to be soft, and it's still going to be safe for paint in most situations, but it's going to be used for medium to heavier duty cleaning and detailing, and it has these stiffer bristles. But with time, though, a big thing with boar's hair we want to point out is that with time and the more you use it, the softer these bristles actually get. So it becomes a safer brush over time. But right out of the bag, it's going to be a stiffer brush. Definitely use it on your dirty jobs, and
make no mistake, like,
and it is, just so you know, you are going to lose, like, I've just lost a couple bristles there. That's because boar's hair is very brittle. And that's part of the key of using it, is so that it causes those hairs to split. Causing it to get softer and softer over time.
As it thins out.
And the other thing too is you'll, like Levi said, there's thousands, of hairs, and I mean I don't know how many are in here, but
you lose one, it's not the end of the world.
You lose a couple, it's not the end of the world, but I mean it's also just the brush breaking itself in. It's going to wean out the weak and keep the strong. And so
it is. It's like a tree in the wind. It's got to grow its roots down deep.
So well, that's the thing. You could have the best boar's hair brush in the world, and it's still going to do that. It's just a matter of having a boar's hair brush that's actually good quality. The handle for it is a big thing. With it. I know, it's like a shaving brush.
Shaving with it? Oh,
build up a lather. Like
we could.
It's really nice. But I thought it was cool that we had them in orange. That was kind of our idea
to
those
differentiate. Are Rag Company colors. Again. So you got this bright orange and
now
blue.
On camera it looks kind of yellow, but rest assured this is very orange.
It's a very orange. Orange.
It's You're not going to lose. Actually, I made an Instagram post telling people that unlike your 10mm wrench, this will not get lost in your garage. You know when you set something down, you walk away, you set down the 10mm, the hammer, whatever you're setting down, and you turn around and turn back and it's gone. That won't happen with this because it is so bright that you will see it through walls.
It glows through things. It's pretty nuts. Also, you have that little spot at the end. You could throw it on a keychain.
Yep, you can put a little loop on there, put a little tie on there, and you can hang it from something. It's nice when you put it in your bucket. It'll glow inside the bucket, so it'll be this orange ambiance inside there.
Well, we've got them,
nice.
and they've come individually packaged, or we've got a. You can buy the whole kit, all 4 brushes, which is pretty sweet.
Yep.
So that'll be cool.
Long, short. Of blue and
you can get a short of the boar's hair if you like. So it's a good product. We're excited.
Most importantly, it works. That's
it works,
the other thing.
and if you like
some of the color,
I know.
Get it because of the color. No, let's
be real. The reason you want it is because it'll actually do
for the
what
people
it's
that bought
to.
the Detail Factory brush, that these are the highest quality detail brushes that you can buy, and they were made for detailers by detailers. These are not makeup brushes, and so when they made these, they made them so they're chemical resistant. They made them so the fibers or the synthetic, I don't know what you'd call this, hairs can withstand wheel cleaners, can withstand other cleaners, all-purpose cleaners, and it's the same thing with this one. So that's what's different about these brushes versus other brush. They're a solid handle. They're not hollow, and they don't have any metal on them. Like you'll see a lot of brushes out there that have a metal bracing around the bottom, and I'm like, why cheap out? If you're gonna cheap out on anything, put plastic around there because I don't want to be hitting metal on my wheels or metal.
Well, the metal looks good. That's why they do it.
Well, my old wood and metal boar's hair brushes, we'd have to wrap them with black electrical tape.
Right, because it softens the blow.
One to protect so that my guys didn't hit a car with it or whatever. So it'd protect that, but 2, it would also, we'd use it to bridle the bristles together. So you'd tighten that up so that way you could get a better.
If you're like trying to get under something that's a little tight area.
And you can do that with these, or you can just get an O-ring, slip it over there, and that'll tighten it up. It's pretty sweet. So these are rad though. We really like these brushes. Like we said, if you like these, you're gonna love those. Because these are awesome for interior scrubbing, cup holders.
And we're going to be putting
cubbies,
them
all
to
that
the
kind of
test in the upcoming Volvo videos we got coming.
Yeah, we're going to be using them in the Volvo
in
video.
my wagon.
We're going to be beating on them.
Yeah,
so,
there's plenty of spots for them.
Awesome brushes. Check them out. They're affordable. They're going to last you a long time. They're weighted. They have that perfect 50-50 balance right there at the grip, so you can do that cool little trick and kind of balance it on your finger and show off your friends, or offer your friends and
customers.
Make them seem that you're really more coordinated than you really are. But
talking to your customers, balancing your brush on there, you hypnotize them.
That's what I do to sell it, like in the store, and people walk in, they're like, "What are these things?" I'm like, "Well, watch this," and then they're like, "Ooh, I don't even need that, but I want it."
Cool.
Yeah,
just wait.
Yeah.
You will buy a Cody.
No. I don't think that's how marketing works.
So,
speaking of which, we did have some good talks about marketing and other things with the guys from Rupes, which I released another one today.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys caught that. I put
didn't
out
see it yet.
Dylan's one. So it was one about context. I thought that was a really cool approach to that because it's so easy for people to forget about the context of what it is you're looking at when you see posts of detailers with all these exotic cars and that's all they do all the time. Well, it's not what they do all the time. Maybe for a tiny handful that is, but
there are a handful
majority
of them.
They get one or two really like ooh wow, and then they just milk it for all it's worth. And there's not saying there's anything wrong with that, but just when people end up getting an inferiority complex because they're looking like that guy's doing all this amazing stuff and I just feel like a piece of crap because I'm not. Yeah. You got to understand the context of the whole situation and why you shouldn't feel terrible just because everybody's life online looks better than yours.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people, I mean, it's the same for everything. It's regardless of whether or not it's detailing. It can be the same on anything. Yeah. There are girls that look on Instagram and see other girls. Like I've got some nieces, and that's one of their things. They look online and they see other girls doing certain things with their life.
Your self-esteem is just...
Right, and they're like, how's that girl doing all that stuff? How's that happening? And they get down, because this is how they've grown up. Instagram and the life, like that's... Now. They've got tons of followers and tons of friends, and that's just how they perceive things now.
She's so pretty, she's so happy, I'm miserable because I don't have what they have.
But what they don't understand is that person is portraying that in their Instagram profile.
That person's just a really good marketer.
They're not selling the dark, down, dingy side. They're not showing that their room is a mess. They're not showing that they hate their job. They're not showing that they're...
Because while there is a niche for that stuff, it's not what the average person
they're not showing the vomit inside the car
like a detailer would. The 30 grand in credit card debts. They're not showing, there's all sorts of things.
There's a lot of different things that people just don't see. And it's different for some of us who didn't have to deal. Like, going back to that, I don't know how I would have survived high school if I had Instagram. Honestly.
Yeah, it was just coming up around the time that I was there, and it was starting to become prevalent, but it wasn't near what it is today.
I don't know if I could have handled it. Like a girl posting like heart eyes on one of my pictures. I would have been like, she's in love with me forever. Like I need to go call her and see if she wants to go on a date. She's like, no, man, I was just putting an emoji.
Nice.
I'd be like, oh.
No, that was my bot that did that.
That was my bot. That's not even me. Like, I would have wrecked my self-esteem, man.
Yeah.
So it is a different era, and as we grow into that, Dylan has a ton of really great points.
Oh, yeah.
About...
So if you haven't watched it already, please go watch that.
Yeah.
It came out before this video if you're watching on YouTube, but it's there. It's just context.
Well, and it's just you need to be able to be aware of that kind of stuff. Yeah. A lot of people aren't, and they need to be.
Yeah.
Because that will slow you down in just your growth of your business and the growth of how you handle your actions.
Well, you spend too much time worried about what other people are doing, and you end up not doing anything yourself.
Right. Well, it's like if someone told us, like, the new show we're going to start doing.
Yeah. Nobody told you had to do it.
No, but if people were like, you can't do that because, there's already that stuff on Discovery. There's already this style stuff. You need to have this, this, and this. Well, we can do pretty good with what we've got. So why not try it? And it's free.
Maybe it does well, maybe it doesn't. But
on
if
YouTube.
You don't do it, you're never going to know.
Well, we've got, technically, the rag company is funding this.
Sure. Yeah.
We're just doing it as an experiment, but it's, why not?
Yeah. We found out that, usually just coming up with kind of an off-the-wall idea and going, what if we tried that, has worked out pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, there's some duds every once in a while, but at the same time, you can't let that dictate how you do everything
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you have one bad experience doesn't mean they're all going to be.
I think when we do have duds, it's kind of funny because I mean, like when something bad happens around here,
It doesn't matter how good you are.
I-
You will always inevitably run into a dud at some point.
Yeah, I'm the guy that like I'll joke around about it, and I like being that guy saying, "Hey, remember that one time we did this and how horrible that was? That was
Boy,
the worst.
that was bad.
That was bad. That was really bad. Like it's not one of those things that goes unspoken, and we all learn from our mistakes here. So whenever we try something and it doesn't go well, we just kind of laugh about it and give each other crap about it, and then move on.
Be willing to laugh at yourself. I mean, that's a big part of it. I do see this a lot in the detail industry. People taking themselves so seriously.
Too serious sometimes, man.
Everything
You're just
is life
cleaning
or
a car.
death. It's like, dude, you're just making a car shiny, okay? No, you don't understand. It's really important stuff. I literally breathe because I have detailing. If it wasn't for detailing, I wouldn't be here. What did you do before you discovered detailing?
Well, yeah.
You were managing before that, and you clearly didn't have it from birth. So.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it on both sides. Like, yes, it's just cleaning cars. But there are some guys who take it too seriously, but then don't see there are guys that,
That's blinders.
Yeah, they think they're better than everybody, but they won't accept.
Then there's that.
They won't accept criticism or even constructive criticisms, or they won't accept education or help on a subject. So you're always going to have, I already know I don't need it, I'm doing good. Okay, that's fine. But to grow, you need to have an open mind. To grow, you need to be available to listen when, maybe something's not working.
Sure.
Like you say, like when there's a dud, we know it's a dud and we talk about it and we try and figure out how to make it work the other way. But if we were like, nope, I'm going to film myself in front of my vanity mirror and I'm going to wear a do-rag on my, I'm going to wear a handkerchief on my head and I'm going to do videos and it's going to get I'm going to get 16 views.
They're out there and you know what?
And I'm saying, man, if you just move the camera over and turn it around and buy yourself a $10 mount, you don't have to video yourself in a mirror anymore.
It's a thought, but
I mean,
sometimes that's the appeal
basic,
for some folks.
But at the basic level, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Right? They're detailers who are that. Think they're fine. Think they are hitting everything right. They're telling their story, but they're not growing in a sense. And they may be working hard. They may be putting out consistent work.
Sure. But if they're not complaining about that, if they're not, going, oh, why isn't this working? Oh, man, everybody sucks because I'm not getting the attention I want. Well, when you do that and you're not willing to learn, that's when it's an issue. If somebody's comfortable with the level they're at and that's the way they want to do it and they're just doing them, that's fine. Like, I got no issue with that. It's when somebody complains that things aren't going their way, but then they absolutely reject any kind of help whatsoever because, God forbid, you take somebody else's advice. Now, I understand that's not the same thing as every other person who troll comments on things like, you didn't do this because they're just looking for something to complain about. Constructive criticism, when done properly, is an asset. It is a good thing. And if you can extend that to folks in a thoughtful way, that does have merit. It's the folks who go out of their way to just be jerks, though, and put that out there because they can and because it makes them feel bigger while making somebody else feel smaller.
Yeah.
That's not the right way to conduct that. I'm thinking back to
Dane's like when I got picked on in 7th grade,
when that guy said
third
he
period,
didn't like the guy in
we're
the middle.
Like, Dane, what?
I had an issue.
Yeah. Dane, you're going really deep inside this.
A lot of feelings.
A lot of feelings deep inside you.
But it is. It's just learning how to, be more open and understanding about a lot of things.
And these are like big idea concepts because it doesn't matter if it's detailing or something else. These are universal concepts.
Well, and here's a good example for the people that have been detailing for let's just say years and years and years, and they built up a great clientele. They have to understand that even with that and having a pretty concrete business, the stakes are rising everywhere, in all sorts of businesses, right?
Yeah.
These service type of jobs where people are offering a service, whether it's, cutting hair, whether it's, detailing, or whether it's, carpet cleaning, right? People are having to do more to stay up in the market, right? With how much everything is growing in the world right now, the economy is booming. Things are going pretty great, right? Businesses are thriving, especially here in Boise. People are having to do more to catch up, and it's kind of like a lot of these service jobs are almost kind of stuck. Let's just say 5 to 10 years in the past, right? You have all these other bigger companies with, I don't know, these, I don't want to say fancier jobs, but that are having to do more. Like their marketing, they've had to do marketing for the past 10 years to get where they are now. But now these more service style jobs where people are detailing are having to start their marketing as soon as they possibly can to keep up with where the market is. And that could be through videos or pictures or everything else. And, I can't tell you how many times I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed or Facebook feed and I'm seeing these detailing companies coming out with these pretty crazy production videos. And
I'm like, I've never even heard of you. Yeah. Look at this.
And I'm like, that's pretty crazy. And I mean, I don't want to say that's where the entire market is, where everybody has to do that, but I think that certain things like that are giving them an edge, and it's helping. And our friend Brian over at Gearhead, he just had a video done, and
that was a very nice little video.
Looked really good, and seeing that, I'm like, wow, that made me feel really comfortable seeing that video as if I were a customer.
It's having the shop that's dirty, and grimy and on the wrong side of the tracks and just kind of beat up, and it goes back to your professional appearance. Mm-hmm. That we've always spoken about. If your business doesn't have that professional look or professional appearance, customers, if they're just solely shopping, they took your address out of a phone book and all things being equal, it's just the white pages. Here's the name of the company, the address and the phone number, and they drive over to look at your place.
Or you pull up the Google Street results.
No, but you drive over and you see and you're like, I don't want to leave my car here. I don't feel comfortable. You go to the next shop and it's nice and clean and looks really nice. Maybe there's some nice cars sitting out front that have already been detailed, and
you can make stuff nice even on a budget.
Right. You can make it nice and clean and looking right. That will bring you those higher clients. They feel safer when they can bring it to your location that looks, and it doesn't have to be, wow, it just needs to be clean. There are plenty of guys who detail out of their house and can do that. Yeah. Because they're in a nice neighborhood or their house looks good.
Well, for a while there, your shop had a dirt lot, and yet you still made it look very nice the way things were organized.
Well, it had technically a dirt lot, but what it was recycled asphalt that was seal coated,
and it just kept breaking down.
I had it seal coated every 2 years or every other year. No, every year I had it seal coated.
I remember there was like a whole
once
story
a year,
tied to all that.
But it was because the city wouldn't let me asphalt that parking lot. I wanted to asphalt it, but they wouldn't let me. But I did my best. We would close the doors once a month.
Yep.
And we would pressure wash the whole shop, the outside of the shop, get all the spider webs off.
That's what got me looking around the shop. It always looked clean inside.
We always tried to make sure all the trash was picked up on the outside, because, we're blowing out garbage out of people's cars. So, yes, you're working on a car. There's going to be garbage on the floor. But after every vehicle, my guys would blow out the shop, pick up all the garbage, sweep up everything. And the goal was to try and provide a professional experience.
And it's like doing
And we had
dishes.
a waiting room that was very nice.
You do it when you've got it, because if you just let it pile up, you're going to look and go, oh, no, I can't do that now.
Yeah, and it's like your video. Like if you're creating a very nice, very polished video, and you're using, a nice backdrop, nice lighting,
like Brian's thing was
Brian's
very professional.
video was very
but it was
professional.
Still him. It was still Brian.
Yeah.
So
that allows people to see that, and it's that same bit of outward professional appearance where they go, oh, I should take my car there because I feel good about being there. Yeah. If you were in a dirty shop and let's say you're, smoking a cigarette and you're just finishing up detailing someone's car and your shirt's all holey and trashed, and you're like, and you're dirty.
You might be the best detailer.
You might be the best.
But that guy's gonna clean my car,
right? And you're like, come on down to this. Come on down here. We're gonna get your car cleaned. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna do a paint correction. And you're smoking, and dogs are barking, and there's garbage cans overflowing, and there's trash everywhere, and it's very dim lighting, and people aren't gonna come to your shop.
Don't be mad when they're not, showing up in droves.
Right, but it goes back to the Gut Mobile guys. They go to people's houses, the same thing. Dress nice, have a professional appearance, make sure your vehicle looks good. All
even
those mobile guys, they clean their vans.
Just make sure it looks, presentable. It's not a big thing.
And it doesn't have to be logoed. It just has to be clean. Like Jose Fernandez doesn't have a logoed van.
No.
Plain white van. That's what he has for his detail.
So it could be a corner, it could be a detailer. You're not
sure.
No,
his plates say Shine One on them.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know. Still could be a corner.
Yeah, but that he doesn't advertise his services. But his van is corrected.
Yep.
Has a coating on it. Tires are everything's clean.
Sure.
He shows up. There's
it doesn't look like they dug it out of the desert after like being put there by the mob years and years ago.
Yeah. He provides a professional experience for his customers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to, like I said, you don't have to have a logo. You don't have to look at nice. He just has a very clean van.
Because I know some folks see that and they think dollar signs, but you can do it on a budget, like anything else.
Yeah.
And so it makes it very. It's just the professional look.
Yeah.
So going back full circle, just understand that the stakes are rising and that, people are doing, and if it, you don't have to do this, but if you're not doing this, other people are going to be doing this.
Right. Somebody's going to do it.
And you're just
if you're competing for those customers, then you got to
stay up with the times because, we're going so fast with, the economy and technology and everything. What you have at your fingertips, your phone is capable of so many things. And it's just putting a little bit extra effort in to polish things up. And not literally.
Well, and I'm sure for those of you that are like, I can't edit a video, I don't know how to do any of that stuff, because I don't.
Yeah.
I'm the first
he relies on us.
I do. I rely on these guys and Tim on the other side of the wall there. Like you guys do all that.
Yeah.
But there are many YouTube videos out there that can teach people how to edit. There are many classes.
You can do it on your phone.
You can take there's iMovie. Like there are ways if you spend the time to want to learn how to do that, or you reach out to somebody who knows. I'm not saying reach out to my guys, but I'm saying find a media company in your town or somebody. Car shows are a great spot. I mean, how many times did we go to Cars and Coffee this year?
Photographers
and there's
walking
kids out there
around
that are with their drones and their cameras.
Locally, we must have like 10 different videographers.
And that's what you want. Find a kid, right?
Stuff.
That's maybe in high school that has a nice camera, maybe in college, and that wants to do like a side gig thing.
Gigs.
Say, hey, I want 3 minutes of decent footage. I'll pay $100, couple $100. I'll detail your car. Something along those lines. Make it work.
Understand what their time is worth too, because they're working. Just like a detailer's working.
Absolutely, they're working. So, but that's the perfect type of person. Because if you do go to a media company, you're probably going to spend a decent amount of money. Just saying, if somebody were to hire Dane, for example, to go do a video, Dane probably isn't going to be cheap. So, just something to keep in mind. If you can find a kid, if you can find somebody in college,
literally, we went to Cars and Coffee.
There's like 10 kids.
There's 10 kids out there running around with cameras. They're holding them down by the cars as they're walking. They're flying drones. They've got their gimbals out. Like, strike up a conversation with those guys and just get to know them.
Side note: it's affordable. This is free. You can do it. Just practicing being presentable, you know, and actually, like, when it comes to doing the video stuff, you could have the least edited, most poorly constructed videos possible, but if you're a charismatic person, or at least can play charismatic for a few minutes on camera, that really goes a long way. Like, a lot of people will respond better to that than they will to some super polished video that has a guy on there who's a total dud. Well, that makes a difference.
Well, a lot of it is, again, just take the time.
And that's free. Just take the time, practice a little.
So the other thing guys seem to lack is even on their Instagram photos. Yeah. They don't take a good photo of the car when they finish it.
And you don't have to be a master photographer, but there's rules.
There's little things.
I'm actually going to help him out really quick. Ooh. Okay, so here's just a couple things I'm going to tell you. The filters on Instagram are a curse and a blessing, right? Do not use those creative filters. Don't use those. Now, because remember what you're trying to sell here. You're trying to sell what a final result would look like, right? Like a realistic result. You're not wanting to sell this sunbeam, coming from this, the inside of a shop that doesn't even exist, or you're not wanting to sell these dark, vignette shadows around that
There's
aren't
a few
there.
Customers who'll look and go, wow, but they're not the people you're trying to impress.
I mean, realistically, what you want is the exact shot of the vehicle, right? And wherever it is, don't touch any of the filters. I would say if you're really good with filters and you know how to make it look to where that looks natural, then maybe go for it. But go with the original shot. Go to your brightness settings. Adjust the contrast a little bit. There's a structure setting that kind of gives a little bit more pop.
Saturation.
You can do that. Saturation. Don't go too crazy with it. I mean, I'm talking like maybe inch it up just a second. And highlights, you can lower those, or you can raise those depending on how the lighting is. And then you also don't want to sharpen images too much, because when you sharpen them too much, they get really grainy and they look really bad. But filters, I try to tell people, in all of our shots on our Instagram that we have on the Rag Company, we don't use any filters on there because we want people to see what the actual towel looks like. I may adjust the saturation, I may adjust the structure of some things, but other than that,
this is a very orange brush, and it doesn't look very orange on our camera at the moment.
It looks yellow.
I tried to compensate it for
get that color,
the real thing, because if, for example, if you over edit a picture, right, people notice these things now. It's not like 10 years ago where people would say, wow, look how crazy the color is. That's insane. Sure fooled them. They would say, okay, you obviously did something in this picture.
Yeah, everybody knows now.
Make it to where it looks as natural as possible. And, in terms of gloss, right, try to find a good gloss shot, but also try to find something that's realistic, because you don't want you don't want to have a future customer say, well, I saw this shot that looks super glossy, right? My car doesn't look like that, right? My car doesn't, I don't know. I digress. It's lots of variables. This
is very simple. For those of you that don't know how to handle Instagram, don't know how to, really take a good photo, there's 2 super, super basic rules. Make sure the sun is always behind you.
That's a very important
and not behind the car, behind you that is taking the picture. And all you have to do...
Don't cast a shadow now. Yeah, don't get this confused with shadow casting.
Painful to look at.
What I would do is at my shop in the late afternoon, the sun, the front of the shop would be shadowed, and the sun would be on the other side of the building. That never worked for taking photos.
No.
Even though I wanted to take pictures in front of my shop with my lot, my sign, all that stuff. What I would do is, if it was in the late afternoon and we were finishing up cars, we would park them on the opposite side of the parking lot. And then we'd angle them and adjust them, get a nice 3/4 shot. And then I'd get down really low and take a shot up at the vehicle. Or I'd try and step back as far as I could so that I couldn't get my shadow in there and take that picture of the car, that same 3/4 view. And
a low shot looks impressive.
But that's all I would post.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, let's say I had a car that sat overnight, we'd pull it out, because now the sun is facing the front of my shop, my logo, everything. I'd pull the car right there, and I'd get a picture of the car in front of the shop. That was the easiest thing to do, because people would see it and they go, wow, that's a really good picture. What did you do? Nothing. I just took a picture of the car.
I literally stood over there
and I just wait, and I'd let the sun be the light, and I wouldn't take super close detailed shot. I'd just take a nice finished car shot of the car in front of the shop, and I'd have my logo back there, so I didn't have to watermark them, because my building's logo's on the wall behind it, and it was great. And people would see that, and they loved it. And I didn't have to do a lot. And then I'd see tons and tons and tons of detailers who would have the sun behind the car, and the car would be washed out, and you couldn't see what they did.
And they're casting a shadow.
And they're casting a shadow over the car, and it's like, and you see them standing, or you see them in the reflection.
Oh yeah, there's always
the car.
that.
Like, and I'm not saying like
sometimes that's intentional, but a lot of times it's not.
I'm just talking about the guys when they're trying to take a picture to show off the entire vehicle.
And
it's
as far as that goes, there's a right and a wrong.
Very simple though. If you take a good photo for your work, you don't need to edit. You don't need to use a lot of stuff. Yeah. If you just use a very basic, literally the most basic thing, put the sun behind you.
There's more tools than just the filter.
Put the sun on your back.
Yep.
And take a picture.
But I was going to say, what a really basic, just because everybody's like, well, what kind of shot do I take? You're absolutely right. In front of the building, if you got a building or something like that with a sign, do that where you have like a mobile vehicle that happens to have your sign on it.
Yep.
Great way to have that in the background, something like that. But even if you don't have that, and you can have the car, if you're in a dingy parking lot or something, doing a low angle shot that looks up and capture that stuff, you can hide a lot of the junk in the background and make the focus the vehicle. Like a 3/4 low angle looks good, and it actually looks like you tried. Because what I see a lot of people do is they'll do this super bare minimum, like, oh, I'm tired, they literally walk up and it's like head height, and they just take a picture looking kind of down at the vehicle, and that's the most boring shot there is. Like that, there's not a lot going on. If you make it more dramatic, you can just get a little lower. You get down on one knee, kind of take a picture like that, or go up high, take a high angle shot looking down. it's still going to take you the same amount of time to take a picture. Yeah, maybe you got to adjust things or take it a couple times so you get it the way you want. But that little bit of effort right there goes a long way towards creating a much more, exciting image to look at.
And a much more
people.
professional
Yeah.
looking photo
and you don't
for your
need a pro
professional
photographer to do
business.
that, although a pro photographer could definitely give you some pointers.
And well, another thing I'll kind of give some advice on as well is that, on all the hashtags you're gonna be posting a lot of these, detailers of Instagram,
Don't
or
use a million
you're
hashtags.
gonna be using a million hashtags. What I usually tell people is don't put that in the first your first posting, right? Because you'll have your original post where you write out everything you're wanting to write, and then people will just cake on their hashtags right behind that. So then you have this really big cluttered looking post. What you should do is write out like a sentence of what you did. What did you do to this vehicle? How did you do it? What did you use? Post that. Then in your notes, you should have a section of hashtags that you've already pre-made. Copy those, then paste those into the very first comment following that. Leave a comment on your own post specifically for your hashtags. And what this does is this declutters your post, so you're not seeing a ton of hashtags right there, right the first thing you see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to put one in there or two, but don't
Well,
go
and if you
crazy
need an
with it.
example, just go to the Rag Company page, because that's what Anthony does for ours.
You can see how I
And then
do
you
it.
can see how it's set up.
But another way to make your photos interesting, because there's going to be tons of pictures there's so many pictures of cars on Instagram, it almost hurts my head. Now, do something maybe that makes it yours. Do something that makes that Instagram your signature thing. Pick up a tripod. Maybe set up a tripod, set up your camera, and crouch down next to the car. Give your thumbs up.
Yeah.
Hold your polisher next to the car and say, I just finished this, and do this with maybe every single one. Kevin Davis is famous for his selfies and with all the people that he meets and selfies in front of cars.
He's got a few.
He's got countless.
Well, like Jose Fernandez will do shots of just from up here of all the people behind him when he's working on a big project.
It's like the Leroy or something.
Yeah, well, you can, and that's
Lenny.
and there's a lot of guys that do that. There's we used to, Matt.
Leroy.
Yeah, Matt would take his dog Cyrus and have his dog sit down in front of the car that he finished. Just it's just something fun because it made us ours.
Yeah.
Or if my kids came to visit, I'd take a picture of us in front of the sign at the shop.
Yeah.
And they're coming over, and it brands you, and it allows for those of you that are worried about people stealing your photos and things. If you make it more and more about you and what you're working on, it's harder and harder to steal.
Yeah, you can put your logo in it. You
can
put,
literally hold your business card in the corner and watermark it in person as you're taking the photo.
Yeah, you can set your business card on you can do so many things. You can put a blow up doll in the car, and you can say however you want to do it.
If that's your thing.
Whatever. But you could just get really creative with it and just make it to where somebody sees it and says, "Oh, that's so and so's picture," and I know that's theirs. And because, like I said, you guys are competing with a lot of people. You're competing with crazy videos, other pictures, all sorts of stuff.
And I always tried to take my photos the same way for every car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were always either in one corner of my lot,
discernible
with a
pattern,
view of trees and stuff, or in front of the building with the logo behind it at this angle.
Yeah, because that's not going to be anybody else's.
It worked flawlessly because it not only it adds to the shop profile if you've created a business page or something. It adds to that, so then people see, and in every photo if you have your name and phone number on your building, there it is.
And
on the side there.
I know it's not always to other detailers. It's not as interesting as, oh, look at this foam, or, oh, look at this really close-up correction I did with a 50-50 and stuff like that. That looks good, and those are definitely things you can take. But when you want to take your finale shot, kind of thing, and you just got to take a nice-looking picture. Simple as that. It doesn't have to show every bit of work you did.
Well,
because if it's in the shot, it's in the shot.
I'd take pictures of my guys working on cars.
Yeah.
I just walk over and take a picture while they're in the process
shots are great.
And it just, this is our day-to-day. Or I'd take 3 or 4 of them. If we got a box in, here's my guys working, here's our morning look, there's hot air balloons over the building, or here's the sunrise in front of the shop. It's gorgeous today. I always tried to make it about the business and what we were doing that day. And it just helps your customers when they see that. It makes them feel like, one, they're your friend, and 2, they're a part of something.
Camaraderie.
Yeah. And that, you got to remember to stop trying to sell to other detailers. That's the biggest thing. Because they're not the ones buying your services.
Like their customers are other detailers. Like, no, most of your customers are not detailers.
Yeah.
So all the things that you think are going to appeal because they appeal to you, not necessarily
Well, like
what
I said,
your customers
the
looking
best
for.
picture I ever had that my wife sent me that I used that grew the best was Hadley out in the yard, in our backyard, with a garden hose and a scrub brush.
Yep.
And she was washing her little ride-along toy. And my wife sent
they're
that.
using a brush.
Yeah, but my wife
Yeah.
sent me that picture, and I posted it and said, "Now's your time, spring cleaning, time to get that ride all washed and waxed and ready to go." And I posted that, and it got me so much more business because so many people, one, loved that photo, thought it was cute, of my daughter. She was probably 3 at the time doing that. But also, it branded us as we're a family-run business. This is my daughter working on her car. And it's like, Hadley says, time for you guys to bring your cars in and get it cleaned up.
It's
She's
not like
working
you took
on
some
hers.
stranger's kid.
Yeah,
It's like, no.
She's working on hers. You need to come in and get yours done by us. And it worked out really great because all the stay-at-home moms, all the wives, and everybody saw it and was like, "Oh, you're right. I got to get my car cleaned." Oh, well, look at that cute picture of Levi's daughter.
I'm definitely
Hadley.
going there.
Yeah. They'd go. They're like, and I remember so many of them said, "I saw that picture of Hadley washing her car. That was great." I was like, "Sweet." I'm not going to say that my kid brought me money, but it
Exploiting
worked out right.
your children
It
like
worked
that.
though,
Oh,
but it
gross.
branded us as a more of a family business,
Yeah.
and it made people want to bring their cars in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
key is keep it professional. Do some little tips and tricks that we talked about. Make it fun.
But don't confuse being professional with being super serious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because at the
There's
end of the day, we're all
distinction.
just cleaning cars.
Yeah.
And like Yvonne always says, the finished product is just a clean car.
Yeah. That's what you're all working
Whether it's a
towards.
$1 million car or a $500 car,
Yeah.
Some
the finished
customers
product is still going to be a
some
clean
customers
car.
Doesn't
may be
affect
more
how it drives
discerning
at all.
than
It
others.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't affect anything else. It just affects it.
clean.
It's just cleaner. That's it.
Yeah, it's just clean.
So cool, guys.
But in this arms race of detailing.
Yeah. I mean, next week, hopefully our polishers will be here at the end of this week.
Right. And then we can
So-
get started on more segments.
Yeah,
of
we
the
can
Volvo
show them
video.
off to you guys,
Yeah.
and you get to see them. They'll be fun.
All right. Well, I guess that sums it up.
Yeah.
Unless you guys have anything
No,
else to
I
add.
think
No, just so you guys know, we aren't doing our weigh-ins. We kind of finished that.
Yeah,
Dane,
that was
Dane
leading up.
basically won.
Sorry, guys.
I don't really know what Dane won, but
Actually,
we didn't
thinner.
have- we didn't have a prize for him, but
No.
he won confidence.
I
and-
won
I
some
won
confidence.
pride.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
the ability
Pride.
to eat whatever he wanted while we were in Colorado and not gain anything.
Hefe's Taco.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
it
be
was a
back.
religious experience.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right, guys.
all right.
Well, all right. You can find us on Shout Engine. You
Mm-hmm.
can find us on iTunes, any of those normal podcasty kind of places.
Stitcher.
Or, Stitcher. Or if you're watching us, you're probably on YouTube. So, as always, stay tuned for more episodes right on the Rag Company YouTube channel or iTunes or wherever I just said. All right, guys. Till next time. Adios.
See ya.